we're gonna do the Trump alienated swing voter thing from Channel 4. One of my favorite things, as you guys know, is like when British people study the American heartland.
The King of New York is back to reclaim the city that he built.
Donald Trump didn't, of course, build New York City, but in the self-described world's most famous arena of Madison Square Garden, that's certainly the tale he wanted to tell. That he was back in his righteous home. Only
that's what the guy painted? The pizza boxes guy? That's awesome.
This time he brought the MAGA circus with him. But if the aim was to endear himself to his native New Yorkers, the opening act sure didn't get the memo.
Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is, in fact, an American territory, which makes them, by the way, a critical American voting bloc. Racist slur number one.
There are more Puerto Ricans. First of all, okay, couple facts. Puerto Rico, American territory. If you're Puerto Rican and living in Puerto Rico, you can't vote. However, if you are Puerto Rican living on mainland United States of America, as there are, by the way, more Puerto Ricans living in the continental United States than there are in Puerto Rico, just so you guys understand, you can vote. Okay? Just so we're clear. Okay? And there are a decent number of Puerto Rican Trump supporters. The thing is, they also love Puerto Rico unconditionally for understandable reasons, okay? If it ain't a shithole, then why did they leave? That's awesome. See? Here you go. Here you go. Dumb fucks. Once again, keep chirping. Keep chirping, dude. Keep fucking chirping, bitch ass. So fucking stupid. People are so openly disgusting. Like, I think more people should be embarrassed to have opinions like this that they broadly televise. Okay? They didn't leave Puerto Rico. They are American citizens living in another part of America. It's like being from California and loving California, but having to move for one reason or another to a different fucking state. Okay? That's number one. Number two, there are obviously many reasons as to why Puerto Rico is deliberately underserved as a U.S. territory. Okay? We fucked Puerto Rico up. We did. America, the American government. Okay? What a fucking stupid question. Oh, why did they leave Puerto Rico instead of staying on the fucking island? And it's like, I wonder why, dude. I wonder why. Well, one immediate reason is because Puerto Ricans are treated as second-class fucking citizens. That's number one. Second reason is that the infrastructure is deliberately kept shitty. It is one of the greatest examples of vulture capitalism. Democrats and Republicans are both responsible for this, for the record. It's you can loop this under like the bipartisan consensus of American foreign policy if you want to. Anyway.
One, but it got darker and more dystopian from there.
The whole party, a bunch of degenerates.
Kamala Harris, she is the Antichrist. Her and her pimp handlers will destroy our country. We need to slaughter this other people.
Then came the main act himself. They almost managed a kiss. But did Trump manage to rise above the X-rated sideshow? As the New Yorkers like to say, forget about it.
Kamala, you're...
a British person trying to do a forget about it joke is insane. Don't do that. That's like a hate crime, I think. That's unacceptable. Okay? Unacceptable.
Fired. Get out. Get out. You're fired.
Camila!
The aim was to paint this
I do think it's funny how these guys exercise so many creative liberties whenever they want to try and figure out a way of saying Kamala Harris's name wrong. Like, they use all their creative juices on that, okay? They're tapped out by the time it comes to, like, being creative or anything else.
This is the pinnacle of Trump's comeback. But critics drew a very different parallel with a Nazi rally that was held in this very venue in 1939. Only this was the here and now.
November 5th, 2024, 9 days from now, will be Liberation Day in America. It's going to be Liberation Day. On day one, I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. Going to get the criminals out. Going to kick them the hell out of our country as fast as possible.
Outside.
Why do you think the Puerto Rico thing is getting more attention than some of the more unhinged statements? Because Puerto Ricans are American citizens and they love Puerto Rico, regardless of what their fucking political allegiances are. Okay? And they vote. You can say whatever the fuck you want about undocumented immigrants, but because they have no political power, because they are hyper marginalized, but they don't have any kind of fucking motion in terms of voting because they can't vote, it doesn't matter. You can get away with all the other unhinged shit. You can literally say whatever the fuck you want. You can lie and say Haitians are eating cats and dogs, which Donald Trump also did. People find that gross, but there's not the same level of pushback because Haitian migrants that are here with the proper paperwork under temporary protected status still do not have the right to vote. Puerto Ricans, on the other hand, do have the right to vote. There's 500,000 Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania, dude. And it's such a very obvious, overt, gross, racist ass fucking thing to say, oh, it's a trash island. There are, once again, and I'm going to repeat this, there are, once again, more Puerto Ricans living in mainland United States of America, Alaska, Hawaii, than there are in Puerto Rico, the island, okay? And virtually every single one of them loves Puerto Rico. Doesn't matter. They could be hogs. Doesn't matter. They could be Trump supporters. They still understandably love Puerto Rico and want what's best for Puerto Rico. Okay? That's what happens when you are a colony. You maintain some kind of like hope that inevitably your people and your island will thrive. Have you not met like a Puerto Rican person ever? This is not like other people in diaspora, okay? It's a unique predicament. Like Cubans in Miami, especially, do not like Cuba, okay? That's why you hear insane statements about Cuba, like from Miami Cubans in diaspora. Even I would say Venezuelans, many Venezuelans are not exactly fond of Venezuela for one reason or another. That's not the same for Puerto Ricans.
The assembled MAGA faithful were full of pride.
Gee, I've been a lifelong New Yorker, lifelong Republican, and I have never been able to confidently wear my MAGA hat in the street until this rally today.
And we saw the economy under Trump, we saw the economy under Kamala. Which one was better?
Well, he was over 2 hours late, and we had this.
I need like one extra question from these people, like just one additional question. Please. I feel like it's journalistic malpractice, and also you're leaving a lot of content on the fucking table when you don't ask them, what do you mean by that? What do you think Trump is going to do in terms of fixing the economy? What do you think Trump is going to do to fix the economy? What has he communicated to you? You're kind of misspeaking. They love the country but are more conservative, so they hate the governments in Cuba and Venezuela. No right-wing Puerto Rican is going to advocate to bomb the island of Puerto Rico in the way that like a right-wing Cuban will advocate to bomb the current Cuban island. Not just the administration, but just bomb Cuba. That's the difference. Like, the distinction I'm trying to make here is that regardless of political allegiances, Puerto Ricans still obviously love Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans, especially conservative ones, will get pissed off if you make them. I mean, yeah, I lived in Miami. This is common for every Latin American subgroup, if we're being real. Puerto Ricans, especially conservative ones, will get pissed off if you mistake them for Mexicans and are incredibly proud of being Puerto Rican. Understandably, why people will be like, I'm not Mexican, I'm Puerto Rican, or I'm not, that's literally just racism. That's a normal thing to get mad at. But the meme in Miami especially is like, Latinos fucking have a little extra smoke for being mistaken, like Dominicans for Haitian, or Puerto Ricans for Dominican. Like, it's a meta. It's meme. It's a meme. Point is, he's going to increase our taxes and decrease our taxes. The upper class, that's going to make his friends rich. So that's how we'll fix the economy. Miami Cubans here. We are the Iranians of the Americas. I have family that do advocate to nuke Havana. Meanwhile, my best friend is from PR, and he wants to nuke Washington to free PR. Yeah. I'm not kidding. Of course I'm not kidding, dude. Yes. Miami's Cuban mayor says the U.S. should consider airstrikes against Cuba. Yeah, we talk about Balkan posting online quite a bit, but it is very similar. Like, Latinos also Balkan post in terms of like where they come from, like unironically. They do. But we're not going to get into that right now. It's not important. Let's continue.
Standard mix of campaign themes, the economy and immigration, and a fair bit of freewheeling, which may explain why hundreds of Donald Trump fans are leaving early. How was it?
Incredible, amazing. It was electrifying. The place, everybody was on fire.
You know, there could be a red wave coming through. You never know. We could be another swing state.
She surely knows that Democratic New York would never vote for Donald Trump. Harris is 15 points ahead here, and she, by chance, was visiting a Puerto Rican restaurant yesterday in Philadelphia as Trump's anti-immigrant barrage was underway. Today, as she was en route to the swing state of Michigan, Harris said Puerto Rican voters would support her and reject what she called Trump's nonsense in New York.
They want a president of the United States who's about uplifting the people and not berating, not calling America a garbage can.
Joe Biden popped up too this morning, doing his Democratic duty by voting in Delaware, one of the closing acts of his political career.
It's up to you.
The question is whether Donald Trump's big New York finale will be one of the closing acts of his.
Siobhan Kennedy reporting. Well, let's get some reaction to the Madison Square Garden rally from Albert Eisenberg, Republican political strategist and a writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer in the city. Welcome to the program, Albert. That was a hate rally, wasn't it, last night?
I think that a lot of the people in attendance who are increasingly diverse on the Republican side, the Republican Party is getting more diverse, will continue to get more diverse this election, would protest that.
But there's some very off-color jokes.
Yeah, there were.
Against Latinos, against African Americans, against Jews. I mean, just off-color, unacceptable language.
Yeah, but it's funny because there's always media uproar when it comes from the right, but I haven't been asked any questions about the Hamas rhetoric, pro-Hezbollah rhetoric.
What Hamas or pro-Hezbollah rhetoric is happening at any point? Like, what has happened? Where is this happening?
Rhetoric on college campuses, and Kamala really hasn't either. As a Jewish person, it's actually incredibly important how you frame the discussion.
It is, but none of those students are running for the presidency, and
no, but they're supporting the Democratic Party. And
but hang on, this is a presidential candidate who's been president, running for office. This is his final pitch.
So the vast majority,
and he opens the gates to some very offensive language.
So the vast majority of voters are not going to be voting based on an off-color joke about Puerto Rico, which was off-color, not good. They should have vetted that comedian, and they should have had him on.
And they did apologize, but they sort of distanced themselves. Is that because Puerto Rican voters matter, especially in this state?
Absolutely, and Latino voters are shifting Republican. So despite a lot of the uproar and sort of the upper-educated, people who consume a lot of media.
Yeah, it's elitism. It's the elites, dude. I hate this because there is some validity to these claims when the Democratic Party is posturing with Liz Cheney over and over again and have openly targeted college educated whites in the suburbs. That is what's so fucking annoying about it. Okay? That is what's so fucking annoying about it. It's the Democratic Party has historically been the pro-working class party. What the fuck? I hate that they're just completely dropping. They're completely dropping the ball on this shit. Crazy it took this long to see Trump as the fascist he is. I don't think you're talking to me, right? Because there's never been a moment where I haven't said that. Oh, you're talking about Puerto Rican voters potentially? GeoGuessr Israel guy just dropped a great one on Puerto Rico.
Ocasio, thanks for the 10 gifted. Lush vegetation, fertile soil. Oh man, this infrastructure needs some help. Maybe we're over here in Haiti. What? Why is there crumbling infrastructure in a U.S. territory? In October 1898, the United States seized control over Puerto Rico and began using the island as a testing ground for chemical weapons and forced sterilization campaigns. During World War II, the United States wanted to test chemical weapons on human subjects to ensure their efficacy across races. So they conducted racial tests.
By the way, that's such an incredibly racist thing to do on both ends. On the one hand, you're obviously treating different races as less than human by subjecting them to chemical weapons testing. But on the other hand, it's also incredibly racist because you're we have to make sure that black and brown people don't have a special way of not being killed by our chemical weapons in a way that white people will be killed. That's just race science. We need to determine their Pokemon type weaknesses. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's insane.
Testing on Puerto Rican subjects. They also conducted jungle testing on Puerto Ricans on an island off the coast of Panama. The same doctor who conducted this testing bragged about injecting cancer into a number of his Puerto Rican.
Big homie had the Hitler stash and everything. That's kind of crazy. Like, you ain't slick, Cornelius. You ain't slick. He had like a little bit on the sides to be like, no, it's not Hitler. But like, come on, man. Come on, man. Seems like you fucking deliberately shaved off the sides, big dog. What is that? You ain't slick, dude.
Rican patients in a letter that was leaked in 1932. In 1945, he was awarded the Legion of Merit by the United States Armed Forces. In the 1940s,
maybe Hitler got it from this guy.
Mainland leaders were concerned with the growing population of the island, so they rolled out a forced sterilization campaign that spanned decades and forcibly sterilized 1/3 of all the women on the island. This campaign led to even more gruesome experimentation around a drug that ultimately produced the modern-day birth control pill. And now, our leaders hand no-bid contracts to their cronies to leech off of even more of the island's resources, despite the ever-growing threat of climate catastrophes there.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't this a bit you and Austin did? It's apparently a political ad now.
Your pilot speaking. They tell me the plane is malfunctioning. I'm not surprised. They were very unfair when they gave me this plane. They're giving us bad planes, nasty planes. I think I know a lot more about flying planes even than a lot of the engineers do. I look around and see all the beautiful lights and switches. Nobody knows what they do. They said flip that one and maybe this one. I said let's flip all the switches, but nobody listens.
It's not a bad ad. They also tested the contraceptive pill on Puerto Rican women. The hormone concentration were like 60x the modern pill. The test subjects we know of, very little of the thousands died of cancer. Oh, he beat me. Yeah, he did talk about that. We've done so many fucking awful things to just people that we considered less than human. It's kind of wild. AOC endorsed the pro-independence gubernatorial candidate, by the way. Yeah. It says, Vamos, Puerto Rico, hoy estoy orgullosa de endosar la alianza. Juan Dalmau por gobernador. Ana Irma Rivera Lacen por comisionado residente de Puerto Rico. Y A. Manuel Natal por alcalde de San Juan. Porque Puerto Rico no se vende, se defiende. Damn, I didn't know you were such a gifted linguist. When I do a good Spanish accent, you guys make fun of me. When I do the deliberate Peggy Hill, you also make fun of me. There's no winning. This accent is worse for Puerto Rico than the comedian's joke. I'm sorry. Hasan Spanish, a Loki. Hey, okay, I'm going to try. Vamos, Puerto Rico. Hoy estoy orgullosa de endosar la alianza. Juan Dalmau por gobernador. Ana Irma Rivera Lacen por comisionado residente de Puerto Rico. Y a Manuel Natal por alcalde de San Juan. Porque Puerto Rico no se vende, se defiende. Is that better? Yes, that is somehow worse. Wait, what? How is that worse? How did you end up making it worse? Okay, half the chat is saying it's so much better, and half the chat is saying it's so much worse. Porque Puerto Rico no se vende, se defiende? Am I saying it wrong? Calm down. You got a little spicy with the need more arroz. Well, we have that in Turkish too. ¿Por qué Puerto Rico no se vende? Se defiende. How the chat ain't native speakers? How would they know? I don't know. Say ferrocarril. I don't know what that means. Are you making me say something bad? Alcalde, not alcalde? Okay. Roll the R in Puerto Rico when you say Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Okay. The R in Puerto is just soft, just a tap, otherwise good. Okay. All right, let's continue.
Most voters are pocketbook voters.
Yeah.
They have not liked what they've seen on affordability. They've not liked what they've seen on the border from the Biden-Harris administration. It's increasingly economically impossible for working class people to get by. And foreign policy-wise, the world's become a lot less stable under Biden-Harris. Yeah. So my point is just, yeah, there were some off-color jokes. Yeah. Trump's an off-color guy. Yeah. But people are going to be voting based on the issues.
And off-color is a very mild way of describing this. I wonder if they only sort of apologized about the Puerto Rican stuff because it matters electorally, and the rest is just fine. It's offensive.
Yeah, politics. Exactly. Just so you understand, like, that is the reason where people were like, why do they care about the Puerto Rican stuff so much, but like not about anything else? Well, that's because Puerto Ricans vote. They're American citizens. And there's a shit ton of them. And they all love Puerto Rico. So that's the reason why Trump is like, I love Puerto Rico. I'm a fan. I love it.
You put your finger in the air and decide. I mean, politicians do all sorts of things because they think it'll matter or not.
Does it set the right tone for this country? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's one country. Hopefully someone's going to try and unite it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say allowing Putin to march into Ukraine and pulling out of Afghanistan and leaving billions of dollars of military kit actually set a much worse tone than an inappropriate rally. And I hope you're hearing me on that, because that really matters.
I'm absolutely hearing
listeners
you.
at home,
it matters in Europe.
Yeah,
but
they need to understand, the viewers at home need to understand.
Right.
There are regular people in this country that are not able to afford living.
Allowing Putin to move into Ukraine. Donald Trump is the guy who wants to cut and run when it comes to Ukraine.
I think that's massive speculation, but we'll see, because I think Trump's going to win. Okay. So we'll have to see how it goes. I think the world's going to be more safe under the Trump administration. I think a lot of people agree with me.
And on that point of Trump winning, if he does...
I thought Puerto Ricans can't vote for president. Yeah, Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico can't. There are more Puerto Ricans living in the continental United States of America than in the island of Puerto Rico. Okay? Puerto Ricans are American citizens. Puerto Rico is American territory. Oh my God. This is like super basic shit. How the fuck is a Turkish guy describing to Americans what their fucking country is like? What the fuck? I don't understand it. So are Hawaiians, by the way. Yeah, but Hawaii is a state. So they can fucking live in Hawaii and vote for the president. Puerto Rico, on the other hand, is still considered a territory. This is part of the reason why it's, Hawaii has a litany of similar. I don't understand it. So are Hawaiians, by the way. Yeah, but Hawaii is a state. So they can fucking live in Hawaii and vote for the president. Puerto Rico, on the other hand, is still considered a territory. This is part of the reason why it's, Hawaii has a litany of similar problems to Puerto Rico in the way that we have treated the indigenous population, like destroying their ecosystems and whatnot. But Hawaii still gets like some of the amenities of being a state that Puerto Rico as the island does not.
Doesn't win, do you think he's still going to declare victory, or is he going to concede?
Oh, man, all the speculation. I don't know whether Kamala's going to. I mean, she's out there calling him a Nazi. So that's all very heated rhetoric. And I'm genuinely not trying to be defensive because I'm a Republican commentator.
Think he should
I'm telling you how I feel.
But
this is what Trump's answer was to the Puerto Rican stuff, by the way.
I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. The people go out to vote, no fear, no more. Vote for Trump. Let's go. Vote for Trump. If you wanna keep America great, vote for Trump. Let's do it. My vote for Trump.
Yeah, this is an old ad.
Oh my God, I will
This is a Hasanabi classic.
I will vote. Oh yeah.
For Donald Trump.
Oh my God, I will vote. Oh my God, I will vote for Donald Trump.
This is also unimaginably racist because I don't think these guys are Puerto Rican. Not a single Puerto Rican here. They're Cuban. And he's just like, people are saying I'm being racist to Puerto Ricans. Well, here's a bunch of Puerto Ricans. Okay, here's a bunch of Puerto Ricans saying in a Spanish accent that they'll be voting for me. Meanwhile, they're all Cuban. What's the difference? They're all Mexican. I don't understand it.
Don't believe in fake news. All I need is the truth. Because we love our country. We love it just like you. Economy.
Economy.
Life is good. For Trump. Because we love our country. We love it just like you. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump. I know my daughter. If you feel proud to be American, raise your
Yeah, all the flags are Trump pens because this is an old song. We've literally, I've played this. I think this song actually originated as an AI song back in the day, and then I guess someone went and remade it. But like this is not like I've played this before.
God bless America. If you feel proud to be American.
There wasn't good AI in 2016. No, there was. Yes. It was like the earliest versions of like AI music, and I don't think it was in 2016. I think it was in 2020. But yeah, see? Oh my God, I will vote for Donald Trump, perform the Trump rally in Miami. It wasn't in 2016. It was in 2020. But it was like, it was also, I think you're losing your mind. Go ahead and hit the ad. There was no AI songs back then. No, it was, dude, fuck. What was it? There was another thing. Like it would be, this was in 2019. Yeah, they did an AI. This is an AI song from 2019, but that's not. It was like an app, dude. It was an app. I think this is it. Yes.
The following ad is made by Latinos for Trump. Blocks.
Wait, is this it? What was it? It was like no. There was like a AI thing back then. Songify wasn't? Is that what it was? It was like, oh, or Vocaloid? Is that no? Fuck. Now I'm getting annoyed because there was like something that there was something out there that was like I remember using. I think this is what I was thinking of. Musically or Diddy or something? Yeah, it was that. Yeah. It was an app that everyone was using. There were SpongeBob memes. I forget the name. Yeah, it was some shit like that. It would like make one thick bitch. This, thank you. This is what I was thinking of. This is exactly what it was. Diddy. That's what it is. Diddy.it. This is literally from 2017, chat. Okay? Before you guys act like this shit didn't exist back then, yes, it fucking did. And I remember using it. And I thought that it was literally like the Trump one was from this. Donald Trump is one thick bit. Oh, here it is. Anyway, see that Trump-a-see? Yeah. That was from 2017. Okay? So they literally they were doing this shit way back then as well. And I think a lot of people are doing some revisionist history at this point. It's not Suno AI, man. Shut the fuck up. It's in 2017. Suno didn't exist back then. Okay? Anyway, I thought that the Latinos pour Trump because of the way that these things are popping off. I thought it was also AI in the same Diddy thing. And then they turned it into a real song. Por Donald Trump. Anyway, but the Spanish one, I guess, was like too racist, or the Spanish one was like too much for the racists, so they turned it into an English one. Ultimately, is literally Cubans. Like, this is a Cuban bop, okay? Cuban Americans that made this song. So Donald Trump posting this to be like, see, I love Puerto Ricans is pretty funny. Anyway, there it is.
Okay, well,
I
do you
think both
he
sides should concede if it's unfairly.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
But you didn't concede last time around. So
Yeah,
he's got,
I thought it was inappropriate. And yet you see, and this is something that I've talked to some of the British folks here about, you see Trump is probably the favorite to win this election, and it's because the Americans have lived for 4 years under Biden-Harris, and they don't like what they see.
But just finally, briefly, undermining trust in the institutions in the process of democracy is not helpful, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
it's dangerous.
I think the institutions have undermined themselves in a lot of ways. I think Hillary and the Democrats undermined themselves with the Russiagate scandal, which might not have been covered as much in the UK, but was seriously undermining the legitimacy.
But she never said the election was stolen.
She's called him an illegitimate president infinity times.
She didn't say the election was stolen. Slightly different, isn't it?
He went too far. I'm not here to defend January 6th. I will never do that.
Right.
I'm telling you that most people can't afford to vote based off of off-color jokes, something that happened, and there's been a lot of bad things that have happened, including U.S. people who have been murdered abroad due to the Biden policies.
Got to leave it there. Albert Eisenberg, thank you very much for coming to the program. Now, one of the things that makes US elections so intriguing and unpredictable is the somewhat peculiar system of the Electoral College. It means that the winner of the popular vote doesn't always come out on top, and tiny numbers of ballots can make all the difference.
You're not trying to get the most number of votes, it's all about winning the most votes in the Electoral College. So whichever candidate gets the majority of the 538 electors wins the White House. The magic number to reach is 270. Now, the way it works is that each state is given a number of electors based on the number of congressional districts they have, plus their 2 senators. California, for example, has the highest population, just under 40 million people, so it gets to send the most representatives to Washington. That means California gets 54 Electoral College votes, the highest in the country. On the other hand, the 6 states with the smallest populations, along with the District of Columbia, get the minimum of 3 electoral votes. And most states have a winner-takes-all system, giving all their Electoral College votes to the winning candidate. The election campaign is fought most fiercely in 7 key swing states that will determine who wins the White House. One of the most important, and won by Joe Biden in 2020, is Pennsylvania, where Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are battling to secure those vital 19 Electoral College votes.
Well, I hope that was clear. We spent the last couple of days taking the temperature here in the swingiest of swing states of Pennsylvania.
Hey, Philly! Oh, I love this city. I just love this city of brotherly love.
Pennsylvania, we love Pennsylvania. Here in Pennsylvania with the workers.
Both candidates have been lavishing love, money and time on this state with compulsive obsession. Dozens of visits between them, hundreds of millions of dollars spent. We travel the roads that both sides believe will lead to the White House. And as the few undecided finally make up their mind and the committed make it to the polls, America feels like the squirrel on the high wire, terrified by the consequences of a zero-sum election where one side's victory is the other side's disaster. First stop, rural Newport, Trumpland. We don't get Mr. Nice Guy himself, but the next best thing, his would-be daughter-in-law Kimberly. Hello. Partner of Donald Jr., former Fox TV host and trust.
And former wife of gruesome governor of California, Gavin Newsom.
Trump whisperer.
We are cautiously optimistic.
It's all about Pennsylvania.
Fabulous. Everything's going to come down, I think, to Pennsylvania.
How do you account for the fact that just about everyone who worked for Donald Trump in the first administration can't stand him?
I don't know
One of his former
that.
chief of staff said he behaved like a fascist.
Well, I don't know. What I'll tell you is there's a lot of people that didn't do their job well, and then, sour grapes. What we're going to do after November 5th when we win is have some of the smartest, most talented, brightest people come into the administration with the help of God and really do something to make a difference in this country, to lift up all Americans.
What was that?
But there's no such thing as all Americans in a tribally divided America.
He knows us. He's for us. He wants to make the country great again. And he can. He'll make it. He'll get us jobs. He'll bring the prices down. And, we'll be able to afford groceries and gas. It's things that we need.
So life was better when he was in office?
Absolutely.
If Kamala Harris wins this election, what would that mean for you and for America?
Well, for America, it would probably be the most horrible thing that could have happened. And indeed, for us, it would be the same thing.
What are you most upset about?
Jeez.
Too much to choose from.
Yeah, somewhere between, I mean, the border doesn't affect me here in Perry County so much, but I don't like how it affects everyone else.
Oh, good. Wow, what an empathetic and kind individual. She's like, the border stuff has no bearing on my life whatsoever, but I've chosen to imagine the right-wing fantasies that it might be harming others. Good shit.
Who represents your interests more? The billionaire from Fifth Avenue or the prosecutor from Southern California?
The billionaire from Fifth Avenue.
Really?
You live in the American dream. We're all going to be that rich one day and have that type of lifestyle. So good for him.
Not all bikers travel the same road. In Philly, we meet Black Bikers Vote. Their mission, to get black men especially to register for the ballot. Their concern is less the cost of living and more the future of the republic itself.
So if Trump were to become president, what would happen to you and your country? Yeah.
This won't be my country anymore. I would absolutely get ready to leave this country.
Really?
Yes.
Where would you go?
Back to Africa. I'm already ready, packed and ready to go. If Kamala does not win this election, I'm no longer going to be here. I'm looking for ways to leave America.
I don't put anything.
That's crazy, dog. That's like, that's okay. I got nothing.
Past anybody in this country now, because you can almost make that argument if he loses, there might be, extreme violence. There was violence 4 years ago when he lost the election. He never conceded that he lost the election. And, we've been kind of silently relitigating the Civil War since 1865.
But there will be some black men, maybe not many, who end up voting for him. What would you say to them directly?
Know who you are. Remember who you are.
Same message.
I don't know. I get why he's kind of scared. No, I get that too. This is wild though. There's some Ivy League bikers. Yes, they're HBCU grads, brother. What are you talking about? They got like Divine Nine, like Greek lettering on their patches and shit. Yes.
Message at this gathering: get out the vote for Kamala Harris. First up, the formidable mayor of Philly.
The path to the White House runs straight through the Keystone State of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
And here past some familiar faces. One thing the Democrats don't lack is star power, unleashed.
And may I introduce Mr. Robert De Niro.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Leo. I just want to start. It makes me so angry that we're here talking about a like Donald Trump.
Mr. De Niro, what happens if she doesn't win?
Good question.
And one they would rather not have to answer. This week, there's arguably no one more powerful in America, maybe even on Earth, than an undecided voter of Pennsylvania.
Did he say the F slur? That'd be really funny, but no. he did not.
Yeah. We found one in his isolated homestead on the banks of the Susquehanna River, and his name is Bill.
We don't have a good candidate to vote for, whether it's Democratic or Republican. We just have a bad choice.
But you're going to vote for one of them?
Well, if I don't have a right to complain, do I? So I'm going to vote for one of them, but I don't know which.
Pennsylvania is the cradle of American democracy, but if the doomsayers on both sides are right, it could also become its shallow grave.
Well, I'm now joined by Lindy Lee, a top Democratic fundraiser and strategist here on the roof in Philadelphia. Thanks for coming on the program. I mean, your reaction, first of all, to this rally last night?
Well, I mean, where do we even start? They called, I'm not even sure what I'm allowed to say on air, frankly, so I'll try to be as circumspect as possible.
We don't want to repeat any of the off-color jokes. Yeah.
Right. Well, Trump had some fanciful words to describe Kamala Harris. I'll just leave it there. I think I can say devil. And then they described Puerto Rico as a floating pile of garbage. And this is a U.S. territory. These are Americans.
Yeah, and a lot of them are living here.
Exactly. Not only everywhere, you know, and Latinos are such a growing voting demographic. Yeah. For him to offend them like this 8 days from the election is a catastrophic mistake. And that resulted in endorsement from Bad Bunny, Jennifer Lopez, Ricky Martin, these very well-respected Latinos for Harris.
But one thing I've always found extraordinary is that however offensive the language is from the Trump campaign, and a lot of people, you know, get offended by this stuff, actually it doesn't make that much of a difference when it comes to votes. And it's
Wasn't Lindy Lee an anti-Bernie person in 2020? Yeah, I think so. I mean, it makes sense if she's like operating as a spokesperson for the Democratic Party right now. A lot of the fucking surrogates are wreckers and shitters, you know? The Democratic Party will always have space for you if you play ball and you go after the left wing of the party and routinely undermine efforts to make the party more progressive. Always. I mean, that's evidenced by the fact that like, fucking Liz Cheney is like a prominent fixture in the campaign. Okay, on the most like forward-facing opportunities, Liz Cheney is considered like a very valuable person for the campaign. It's insane. My 18-year-old cousin said he's voting because his girlfriend told him Bad Bunny endorsed Kamala, so now he's being dragged to go vote. That's a low propensity voter that decides the election, Lamau. Yeah, it's not good when like people start remembering. It's not good when people start remembering that there's an election happening and when the most amount of eyeballs are on the cycle. One of the most prominent, one of the most like forward-facing moments in the campaign, as the most amount of eyeballs are on it, is saying Puerto Rico is a trash heap. Not great. You also have to you could play all of the hits from a couple months prior now, and it would still be fucking a decent message. Because remember, there's like a lot more people paying attention. There's a lot more people paying attention to the campaign now because they're like, oh shit, there's a election going on, I guess. The funniest thing Tony would do if he causes Trump to lose. I mean, the reality of the matter is, if it wasn't fucking Tony Hinchcliffe saying this shit, there would probably be another thing that would hurt his chances. Tony Hinchcliffe's statements would not hit the same if Donald Trump wasn't such an overt racist, okay? Like, that's the problem. Everybody already kind of understands that Donald Trump and some of his most diehard MAGA loyalists are fucking cultish freak weirdos who are just so annoying, okay? It's not just that they're virulent racists. That much is definitely true, but they're also so incredibly fucking annoying. And like in 2016, there was a lot of that resentment, a lot of white supremacist resentment that was, I think, definitely packaged under Trump's more moderate approach to social politics and who he was going up against, and the resentment that a lot of Americans felt, the frustration that a lot of Americans felt towards just the way that the way that their material conditions look like. But now the Trump supporters are not shutting the fuck up. They didn't shut the fuck up for 4 years when Trump was president. They kind of went away when Trump wasn't at the forefront. When Trump got like banned off Twitter, it was probably one of the best things that could have happened to him, because it really caused Trump to just be like weird and awful in his own little bubble. And it caused his fans to shut their stupid fucking mouths. But now he's back. And now there is no more like shy Trump voter. Okay? That's not a real thing. They are very prominently displaying their virulent, unrestricted hatred all over the place. Okay? Non-fucking stop. And I think that grosses a lot of people out. It grosses many people out. Okay, guys, I got it. Okay, it's funny. Yeah, Austin's take. Okay, come on, please. Can we be serious for like a second? Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my God, my fucking community. Holy shit.
Surprising how thick-skinned so many people are with this language, including perhaps Latinos.
That's a really good point, but this is offensive to the core. This is about their self-esteem. If someone insulted like me like that, I would, just to maintain my self-respect, I would not be voting for him. And not only that, he's calling Americans the enemy within, and he threatens to deploy the military against U.S. citizens. This is just like beyond the pale.
But I've spoken to so many Latinos in this state and elsewhere who say, okay, we don't like the language he uses. I wouldn't invite him around for dinner, but I totally agree with him when it comes to the economy. And Kamala Harris just hasn't come up with a convincing message.
He's the one proposing an across-the-board tariff that would raise consumer bills, the price of consumer goods by thousands of dollars every single year. He's the one who has promised to extend the multi-trillion-dollar tax cut for billionaires and corporations, leaving everyday Americans out in the dark. She's the one who promised 3 million housing units by the end of her term, who promised an extension of the child tax credit. His party let that expire, which plunged millions of American kids back into poverty. So on the policy front, it's not even a contest.
Your speciality is fundraising, and your party's done an incredible job. You've raised much more money.
I just co-hosted Tim Walz here down the street.
Yeah.
By the way, you correctly predicted what Trump would say after this.
I want you to know that Puerto Rico stands behind you, and Puerto Rico loves you.
Well, we love it. I know it very well, and we helped you through a lot of bad storms, I'll tell you. We had some really bad ones. You remember you were there when I brought the hospital ship against everyone's advice, and we got it in there and took care of a lot of people. But I think no president's done.
Trump's Puerto Rico Hurricane Irma recovery response was so fucking bad, dude. It was insane. They not only withheld aid, but the aid that actually got